Okay, today I'm going to show you a little bit about how to create an HTML5 web page. First of all, I'll show you a little bit about some of the words, or teach you a little bit about some of the words that I'm going to be using. Tag, element, and attribute. Right, a tag is a title or a name that's enclosed in angle brackets. So there's many different types of tags. You get a title. You can also have one as like BR is a tag, and I'll tell you about all these different tags do later on. An element is a bit of text enclosed in between two tags. So for example, here is a title tag. This is called a start tag or an open tag, and here is the close tag or end tag, and the end tags always have a /. Okay, so the whole thing is called an element. And the last thing is an attribute. So let's just remove that just now. Table is a tag, but if you want to put a little bit more information about the table, you could say that you want it to have a border of 3 pixels. So this is the name of the attribute, and this is the value that is getting put into the attribute. Okay, so that could be 10, it could be whatever you want, however many borders you want. Sorry, however many pixels you want on your border. Okay, now not all tags require this end tag, and I'll show you a few of them as we start going through this tutorial. Okay, so here is your first HTML web page you're going to create. You're going to have a preamble up at the top, and a preamble is just a posh word for an introduction. And this is just basically telling you what type of document it is. It's an HTML document. This is the first tag you're going to have, and it's an HTML tag. It's got an attribute saying that the language is English, and this is just basically necessary if any of your browsers use speech synthesis. Notice again it's got an open tag up at the top, and it's got a closed tag down at the bottom. Okay, now inside your HTML tags you've got a head tag, and again open head tag and a closed head tag. And this tells you all the information about the web page. It does not tell you anything that's actually going to be displayed on the web page. It's just going to be telling you here, for example, it's telling you what character set you're going to be using for the web page, and this is just a standard one that I recommend you use this now. And again, notice here meta does not need a closed tag. Title, the title, I'll show you where that appears on the web page, but it doesn't actually appear in the main part of the web page. Okay, but again, title, an open tag and a closed tag, so that whole part there is one element. Okay, so that's your head or your header for your web page. The body this is where all the information goes that's going to get displayed on the web page. So you've got your body tag and your end body tag, and in here we've just got this P tag, just basically refers to a paragraph. So again, you've got the open paragraph, open P, and closed P tag there, and so this web page will basically just display this line of text, and that is all it will do. Now let me show you how to run this. I've actually got something written over here already. How distracting is that? Let's get rid of some of that. There we go, get back onto the Google website. Right, where was I? Okay, so let's try and run this. So first of all, you've got to, if you notice it's all red up here, if you're using Notepad++ for this will be red. You may have these colors if you have saved it already. If you've not saved it, it'll probably just be all black. But when you save it, you go up to File, you press Save As. Now it's really important here that you make sure you save everything in one folder. So I'm going to call this folder Photo Album. And also the other important thing is I can't stress how important this is it can create lots of problems if you start having spaces in folders and in your file names. So just make sure whenever you're creating web pages, everything is without spaces. So Photo Album, that's where I'm going to store everything. Is going to go into there. The main page of any website is called index.html. So I'll save that, replace that one, and that's my first web page created. Now to have a look at your web page, different ways of doing it. You can look for where you saved it. So here I saved this in the photo album, so I can just double click on that and it'll open it up in your browser. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. A bit of a longer way of doing it, but it's a much better way of doing it, especially if you're using C++. Oops, I put it over there. Okay, the other way of doing it is if you go up to run here, you can run it in any one of the browsers that you're using. So if I launch it in Chrome, it will do exactly the same. Okay, now what's good is if you have it set up like this, instead of having to load it up each time, you can just press refresh. So for example, if I make a change here, this is my amazing photo album. Okay, so I'll save that program, and now if I just go run it in Chrome again, let's get it, then all I've got to do is if I change it and save it again, Control S to save it, then if I reload that, it automatically changes it in there as well. So there's no need to keep on clicking on the file all the time. Okay, a few more things about programming in HTML. If you just put a whole pile of returns in like this, you'd think that would put a whole pile of returns over here, but when you press Control Save and you refresh this website, nothing happens at all. HTML is not a word processing document, so it does not recognize any of these things. All it knows is that there's a word there, a word here, there's another word here, so there's going to be a space between those two words, and that's it. If you want all these extra lines in there, then you've got to tell the program to do that, and to do that you put in this what's called a break command. That will give you one extra line. You can put another break command, that will give you another extra line, and so on. Break commands do not need closing tags, so you just put BR and BR. And if I save that, Control S to save, and I refresh the website, you'll notice now I've got my 2 extra carriage returns. Okay, so all these ones here are not necessary. Nothing happens when you have those. But I don't need those. Let's delete them. The other thing is, oh yeah, about spaces. So if you want a space, let's say for whatever reason you want lots of spaces in there. Again, if I save that and I refresh it, none of those spaces will be shown in there. You only get one space between each word. If you want extra spaces, you've got to put some really bizarre commands in, and it's this one here is ampersand, which is that sign. Move that out of the way, ampersand, and then it's NB SP semicolon. And believe it or not, that there would give you one extra space. So if you want 2 spaces between is and my, if you put that in, you'll get 2 spaces or an extra space. If you copy it and put another one in, you'll get another space, and so on. So if I just save that, you'll now see a few extra spaces. Okay, there they are there. Okay, but I don't want that, so let's remove that. The last thing I want to show you is, let's just make another paragraph. So I'm going to copy all of that and put a new paragraph in here. Some information about my photo. Okay, save that. Now this time I've got a paragraph here and I've got a paragraph here, so that means over here it should display 2 paragraphs. So if I refresh it, there's the 2 paragraphs getting displayed. Okay, so you can use the P's to space your text out quite nicely into separate paragraphs. Okay, I hope that's helped with your introduction into HTML.